Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to the 1,000 subscriber celebration Ask Me Anything question and answer response thingy. That is the official name, that's what we're calling it. Okay, so I've got a massive list here of all of your questions, so give me a moment to, refer to the list, think about it a little bit, because I don't want to give you just a crappy answer. Also, I'm going to read out the names of everyone that asked the questions as well. So first up, we have from Raren, I think it's Raren, 10001. He says, how old are you? I am 26. Simple as that. I get a lot of people tell me I sound a lot younger, but I don't know, man. I kind of like my voice. I think I sound, about right. It depends where you go. If you're from, like, London or something, then everyone's like, "Oi, geezer, how you doing?" I know a guy I work with sounds exactly like that. It's amazing. Every time I walk in, he's like, "Oi, Jace." I'm like, "Alright, man, how's it going?" You just naturally have to speak in a deeper tone of voice when you're talking to someone like that. Otherwise, you feel emasculated. It's ridiculous. Anyway, next question is from Dargon Axable. He says, if you had the chance to play with any YouTuber, who would you pick and why? Now, I bet a bunch of people think they know the answer to this question, but you are wrong. Sit down. Anyway, if we could also include streamers in this, I would probably pick Man vs. Game. But if we're going with just YouTubers, I would say probably Jesse Cox, because he's one of the few that I find genuinely very entertaining consistently, and he doesn't annoy the shit out of me, Because, you gotta have a personality on YouTube, and sometimes some people have a bit too much of a personality, as I'm sure some people would say about me. Anyway, next question is from Abusive Hamster. He says, what made you want to start a YouTube channel, and how did you choose your name? What made me want to start a YouTube channel was, I saw guys doing this. They're playing games, they're talking about it, they're having fun, they're making money, all this kind of thing. I thought, hey, I like games, I can talk, I can do that. It's like my dream job. Turns out I was not so good at it when I first started. It took me a hell of a long time to get into the swing of things. It's one of those things, it seems a hell of a lot easier than it is. I'm sure it comes naturally to some people. But really, at the end of the day, you are just talking to yourself for, minutes on end. Sometimes 20, 30 minutes, depends how long you make your videos, non-stop. And sometimes if you're a boring part in the game, it's really hard to come up with something to entertain, because if you're bored, your viewers are going to be even more bored because they don't have a controller in their hands to actually play the bloody game. At least you're doing that. So you really have to try and entertain the entire time, and it's really not easy. But yeah, that was what I thought. I thought, it looks easy. I love games. I can do this. So that's why I wanted to do it. It's my dream job, you know what I mean? It's entertaining people as well as playing games, both of which I enjoy. So yeah, that was why I picked that. Why did I pick my name? Well, it's my name, and, I like The Matrix. Matrix 1 is probably my favorite film. Number 2 and 3, we shall not talk about. Those are terrible, terrible movies. Number 1, though, awesome movie, and I love Agent Smith. It's not about Neo for me, it's about Agent Smith. Hugo Weaving is an amazing actor. God, I love him. Hello, Mr. Anderson. God, I love that line. Anyway, so yeah, that was why I picked that. Okay, next question comes from the TARDIS1971. He says, what is your favorite Final Fantasy game in the series and why? Number 8. And I know most people are going to say 7. I know a lot of people like 6 as well, but for me, I don't know why. Number 8. I realized the magic system was really crappy compared to Materia. We all loved Materia. It was goddamn awesome. You could junction it together and do all kinds of crazy combo crap. It was really cool. One of my favorite aspects of the game. In fact, probably my favorite aspect of number 7. But yeah, for me, 8, in every other aspect at least, was at least on par, if not better. I don't know why. It's just something about number 8 that I really love. The characters in particular. I mean, Sifa. I always root for the bad guys. Sifa is such a badass, man. That opening. One of the best openings in any game ever. He just slices your face. It's amazing. And the music. God, I love that game. So yeah, I don't really know why. Just the whole feel of the game, the characters, all that kind of thing. And one thing I do love is the card game. I played so many hours of that. It was awesome. The card game, it came back in number 9, but I don't think it was anywhere near as good. But yeah, so that was my favorite one. Next question comes from Lopi Descent. He says, how long do your recording sessions last? Do you play for a couple of hours after work and then edit the videos, or do you just randomly record? I very rarely play after work, and if I do, it's just to relax. Because I am so tired after work. Like, I work long shifts with almost no break, and they work us like slaves in that place. It is ridiculous. So yeah, I just don't have the energy after work. I usually record for, around about 45 minutes, something like that, and then I cut it down to the sort of 20-25 minutes, maybe even less. Usually I cut out a hell of a lot of crap. Like, I spend more time editing the video than I do recording the video, every single time without fail. But yeah, most days I only record one video, and that's what you see on that day. Sometimes if I have the time and I'm, I've got a lot of energy, I'll record 2 or 3, and then, space them out and, maybe have a day off or something like that. But yeah, it depends. So yeah, that's the basic gist of it. Usually about 45 minutes, then I cut the footage down. Okay, next question is from Baron von Burp D'Angelo. Sorry, I can't say a name like that without laughing. Baron von Burp. God, I love you. Anyway, he says, what is your job and when do you go to work and come home? My job is basically I just work in a warehouse. It's boring as shit. It's a terrible, terrible job. It's awful. Just awful. And I go to work at 10 p.m. I come home 5 in the morning. I used to come home 7 in the morning. Trust me, man. 9-hour shifts in that place. It's just hell. It's absolute hell. So I went back to 7 hours. You used to have an hour and a half break in there. Ridiculously long. Way too long to have a break. So I cut it down to like 15 minutes. I'd rather have, 15 minutes break instead of an hour and a half and get home 2 hours early. So yeah, 10 p.m. until 5 a.m. It sucks. Okay, next question is from LearJ123. He says, you mentioned you had an older channel. What's the name and what kind of content did it have? Well, you can probably find the name if you look around, but I don't like to give that out because, I don't really like any of the videos on there. They were very old, I was very inexperienced. I was a young man at the time. It was like a year ago now, but it feels like forever. But yeah, I really don't like the content on there. It took me a while to get into the swing of things. Like I say, I really can't watch back my older stuff because I don't think it's that good. So yeah, it was just Let's Play stuff, but like I say, really not great stuff on there. I would avoid that channel at all costs. Next question comes from the Oreo Yo-Yo. Yo, bro. I added the yo bro there, just so we're clear. He says, I have a couple of questions. So here goes one. Okay, do you watch any animes? Not at the moment, but I used to. He says, if so, what ones have you watched? I used to watch Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! When I was a kid, but I haven't watched them in a long time. The reason I stopped watching Pokemon was because Team Rocket, man, every single episode's like, we're gonna steal Pikachu or some other shit. Oh, we failed. Team Rocket are blasting off again, and that was the episode. Nothing happened. Ash didn't catch any freaking Pokemon. I was always rooting for Gary. God, I hate Ash. He was such a terrible, terrible character. I couldn't stand him. I wanted Gary to beat his ass every single time, and every time he didn't, it depressed me further. So, I just stopped watching the goddamn thing, because nothing happened. Didn't really enjoy it. The first, sort of season or season and a half were good when I was a kid, but like I say, haven't really watched any since I was a kid, and it was just Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon. Oh, and his final question says, do you believe in equivalent exchange? He says that means to obtain something of equal value must be lost. No, not necessarily, but I do believe you have to work very hard to get what you want in life, most of the time. Some people are gonna get lucky, it's just a fact of life, man. So I don't believe in it, as such. But I think generally speaking, yes, you do have to work very hard to get what you want out of life. But there are lucky sons of bitches that will just get whatever the balls they want. Next question is from the Lil Sprout 1995. He says, could you try to play Sonic 06? It's one of the worst games ever made. Also, have you seen the show My Little Pony? Friendship is Magic. It's awesome. No, I haven't seen My Little Pony. It seems kind of girly to me. I know there are bronies and shit that love My Little Pony. It ain't my thing, man. What can I say? You can like whatever you like. If you like sausages, go have a sausage fest. It doesn't bother me. I really don't care what people like and what they choose to do. But yeah, it just ain't for me. As for Sonic 06, I might give it a go at some point if it really is as bad as you're saying, because, if something's really bad, it can be awesome. It's when it's just, kind of mediocre that it sucks. It has to be either really bad or really good. If it's really bad, yeah, like I say, you never know, I might do a one-off video about it or something. We'll see, honey. We'll see. Next question is from the Hell's Reject. Badass name, by the way. Why did you start doing YouTube videos and what was it about on your old channel? Already answered that pretty much. I started doing YouTube because I love games. I love just freaking talking. I can't shut up, as you can clearly see. Okay, next question is from Robbie Clark. He says, what kind of music do you like? What's your favorite band and song? I like, rock music, generally speaking, that kind of thing. But I have a real wide variety. Everyone says this, and most of them are talking bullshit. But let me give you an example. There is rap, rock, and classical music on my iPod. I like pretty much everything as long as it's good. I know it's a bullshit answer, but my favorite band I would say is probably The Prodigy. If you'd asked me, 10 years ago, I'd have been like, Linkin Park, yeah! But I really don't like Linkin Park anymore. I hate their new stuff, I'm sorry. And even their older stuff, I used to love it, like really, really love it. But when I listen to it back now, it just sounds really, I don't like using this word, but it sounds kind of emo and just, life is pain and real suffering and crawling in my skin and these wounds will never heal. That's some dark, depressing shit. So yeah, when I was a kid, that sounded kind of cool, but now I'm just like, damn man, cheer the hell up. So yeah, I would say probably The Prodigy. If you don't know who they are a British band and they are one of the only good ones. They are pretty damn well known. just look up their music. My favorite song would probably be Breathe by The Prodigy. Check it out, it's awesome. It's very, very old though. Okay, next question comes from HDark14. He says, if you could take an item, shield, sword, hammer, gun, power-up, whatever, what would you take and what would you use it on / where? I guess you mean from a game. Quite frankly, I don't really know. It's a bit of a hard question. I think if, I could pick a power-up as opposed to a sword or something, a sword, then I would almost certainly take a power-up. So I'd take, the ability to fly from Superman or some shit like that, because, that's badass, man. Being able to turn invisible or shoot lasers from my fucking eyes. Something like that. Just, Superman. I don't really like Superman because he's a bit of an overpowered son of a bitch, but, he's got some cool-ass powers, man. You would not turn them down, you know what I mean? Okay, next question comes from the Cartby Beats. It says, what game do you think is the hardest that you have ever played? I have actually answered this before. I believe Shadow of the Beast. 99.9% of you won't know what the hell that game is. You can actually play it online somewhere. I found it on some random-ass website, because you can pretty much play it through Flash now. It's a really, really old Sega Master System game. I think it was on the Sega Master System. Yeah, balls hard game, man. You could go, it's like a side-scroller, because Sega Master System. You could go left and you could go right. You were supposed to go right, but you could go left and get more stuff that way. And I could never beat the goddamn first level, because shit would just fly at you from off screen. Like a million miles an hour, all up and down. You had to jump over them and punch them out your way. And you had like a split second to do it, otherwise they'd hit you. And a couple of hits and you die, and it was endless screens of death. It was absolutely insanely dangerous. Do go play it. Just, Google it or something. Shadow of the Beast. It was ridiculously hard. Like, oh my god. To this day, I cannot believe how fucking hard that game was when I was a kid. And the next question is from Kakashi711111111. God, I hope I got that right. He says, can you do a co-op playthrough with one of your friends on any given game, or is that not a plan? I have considered that, and I did record a video, but it wasn't that great, so I didn't post it. But, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, I know most people don't share my opinion, but, I feel like most of the time co-op playthroughs actually are worse, and I'll tell you why, in my opinion. Again, I stress, in my opinion, because I know some people are going to bite my head off for this. But, if I really enjoy a YouTuber, and then they do a co-op playthrough, and let's say I don't particularly like the second or third or whatever guy, it kind of ruins the video for me, because, I can really enjoy the first guy, but if I don't like the second one, then, it ruins the whole experience for me, and I feel like when people are doing co-op, they talk to each other and they never talk to the audience. That's something I always try to do. I always try to talk to you guys. I don't try to do, inner monologues like, we've got a key, we can go use it on this door. I try to give my thoughts and feelings on the game and, talk directly to you guys. Because I feel like that's what a Let's Play is about. It's about a group thing, Let's Play. It's like we're doing it together. Even though I'm the one with the bloody control pad, I feel like it's a shared experience, and I feel like a lot of that is lost when there's more than one person talking. Because like I say, they just converse with each other, which you may enjoy, but myself, I feel kind of left out as a viewer, man. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, anyway, that's my opinion. We might do it at some point, but like I say, I feel like it's got to be the perfect partner and the right situation. But yeah, it's not something I'm opposed to completely. Okay, next question is from, and God, I hope I don't butcher your name. I do apologize if I get this wrong. I think it's Guji or Gugi Danda. Danda? I'm not sure, but we'll go with that. It says, if you had to be stuck with one game to play for the rest of your life, which game would it be? Honestly, I think it would have to be either a roguelike, something like The Binding of Isaac or Spelunky, but it would probably be a multiplayer game if I could. Which one I don't really know, because, my opinion on what multiplayer games are good changes all the goddamn time. Right now, I'm playing Chivalry a hell of lots. That game is fun as balls. It's broken as balls as well, but, yeah, I'm enjoying that right now. I can play that quite a bit, but, yeah, it's a really tough question. I don't think many single-player games could entertain me, for the rest of my life. I feel like I would just end up not playing the bloody thing after a while. I'm like, well, screw games. But, yeah, I don't really know. I was, like I say, probably a multiplayer game, and like I say, right now, we'll go with Chivalry, even though it's broken as shit. Next question is from David Gonzalez. He says, are you excited for Dark Souls 2 and Elder Scrolls Online? If so, how much? Yes, I'm definitely excited for both of them, but I'm not really an MMO kind of guy. So, I'm reserving my judgment. I realize they're trying to make it more like an actual Elder Scrolls game than an MMO, but until I play it myself, I don't really know how it's gonna be. At the very least, I will play it just so I can walk around Tamriel and, explore, because that's one of the things I love about games the most. That's why I love RPGs, just to explore, walk around, look at the sights, talk to people and all that kind of shit. If the world is interesting, the gameplay can be complete shit, and I'm quite entertained. As for Dark Souls 2, yes, I am most definitely excited for that. It looks very good so far. I'm glad they haven't made it, easy as balls, because that's my main fear. I never thought Dark Souls was, too ridiculously easy like people make it out to be. Don't get me wrong, it is definitely a hard game that requires skill and, patience and timing and all that shit, but, it's not an unfair game, so I feel like the truly hard games are the ones that are just blatantly unfair, like Shadow of the Beast, you know what I mean? But, yeah, it looks real good. I am definitely very excited. I am playing that game day one, and hope to God it does not suck. Like I say, looks like it's gonna be real good. Okay, next question is from RJ64IFY, or Iffy. Rajiffy. I'm gonna call you Rajiffy, that's your new name. He says, are you going to be doing any reviews in the future? This is also something I have thought about doing. What I'm currently doing, now and then, is I'm doing a series called But Is the Port Good? So what I'm gonna do, when a game comes to PC, that wasn't on PC previously, like Spelunky, like Castlevania Lords of Shadow, Mortal Kombat 9, that kind of thing, I will do a preview video, showing the, graphics options and a little bit of gameplay, talk about my feelings on it, how it's running and all that kind of thing, give my system specs. That's gonna be more of a first impressions, but, about how well it runs on a PC and how good the PC version is. So that, at the moment, is the closest thing I'm doing to reviews, but, yeah, I have considered doing reviews, but, I'm more of a Let's Player man, so it might happen, it might not, we'll see. Okay, next question comes from Chad Worthy. You are worthy, sir. He says, you probably touched on this in another video, but what's your favorite soul level and build for a Dark Souls PvP character? This is a tough question, man, honestly. Ideally, level 1 is the best one, because you can invade anyone, anywhere, as long as they haven't killed the boss, but you're gonna be weaker. If you're going for sheer power, then I'd say the Sorcerer, but I found my Sorcerer to be kind of boring, because I was just one-shotting the shit out of everyone. It is really, really overpowered in PvP, so yeah, I'd say a Sorcerer if you're just going for kills. If you want to have fun, then, a Strength or Dex build, or Faith, something like that, because there's a lot of fun Faith spells, and, some good weapons you can use with Dex and Strength. So something like that, just, have fun, mix it up with different weapons. I'd say at the moment my character Marvelous Tarkus, which is a strength build, is my favorite character right now, because I have so many goddamn weapons on him. If I get bored, I can just switch it up, and freaking give someone some justice with whatever the hell I want. So yeah, I would say a strength build for me personally, just for a fun aspect. Okay, next question is from Quentin C. Suarez. He says, what is your least favorite and favorite game? My least favorite game is Final Fantasy 13. Holy shit, don't get me started on that. I could rage about that for an hour. In fact, probably more than that. To this day, it pisses me off that I paid full price for that pile of shit. I'm sorry. Genuinely, one of the worst games I have ever played. It's literally, you go down a corridor, you fight a boss, you get a crappy cutscene, you get another crappy cutscene, you go somewhere down another corridor, you get another crappy... It's just the same, it's just, there's no exploration, there's no NPCs. The battle system is boring, the story is shit, the whole game is terrible, so that's my least favorite game. My favorite game, honestly, this will probably surprise a lot of people, I would say it's Red Dead Redemption. That game is underrated as shit, and I know it's highly revered. It's still underrated as shit. That game was amazing, and the DLC, holy shit. If you've never played the Undead Nightmare DLC, get it. It is the best DLC for any game I have ever played without a doubt. It's so good. Love that game. Okay, next question is from, I am not going to be able to pronounce your name, sir. I'm going to try. I think it's Verflutschklingen. We're going to go with that. He says, what genre of games do you like the most? RPGs without a goddamn doubt. Besides that, I would say probably beat-em-ups. And I like a lot of games, man. I don't really like platformers. I don't mind a little bit of platforming, but if the game is nothing but platforming, then I'm not generally too into it because I like to have story, I like exploration, I like, interacting with NPCs and all that sort of thing, so that's why I like RPGs, but, having said that, I did 100% Super Meat Boy, even though I'm terrible at platformers, and generally I don't really like them, so, if the game's good enough and, it's fun, then I'll still play it, but, again, having said that, I loved Crash Bandicoot when I was a kid, but yeah, RPGs, beat 'em ups, probably my two number ones. Cannot stand racing games, again, because I'm terrible at them. Okay, next question is not really a question, but screw it, we're going to consider it one anyway. It's from Jamie Allen. He says, you should do a top 25 games, would be interesting to see. Honestly, I wouldn't know where to rank them, but I can give you a bunch of games that are some of my favorites ever. But like I say, besides Red Dead Redemption and Final Fantasy VIII being at the very top, kind of competing for the number one spot, I don't really know where to place the rest of them, but in no particular order. Red Dead Redemption, Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2, Zelda A Link to the Past, Hogs of War, Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, and 10, and 13 can suck on my balls. Dark Souls, Legia 2, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, Tenchu 2, Abe's Odyssey and Exodus, Oblivion, Skyrim, Fallout New Vegas. There you go, a bunch of my favorite games ever, and I'm probably forgetting tons of them. Okay, next question is from Metal Phoenix. He says, if you could be a character in a video game, who would you be and why? Honestly, this is a really hard question. The first thing that sprung to my mind genuinely was whoever has the most money, women, and power. But I don't know who the hell that would be, so as a legit answer, I was gonna go with Solid Snake because, you know, he's a complete badass. But he doesn't have that whole premature aging thing, so, well, you know, not wanting to die that quickly. I'd go with probably the original Lara Croft so I could play with myself all day long. With my pixelated triangular titties. That's my answer, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, moving swiftly on. Next question is from Quentin C. Suarez again. Hey, you double posting. I'll let you... It's okay, you can ask as many as you freaking wants. He says, how did you start YouTube, and why am I gonna go watch all your badass Pokemon vids? You're gonna go watch all my badass Pokemon vids because they are my badass Pokemon vids. Simple answer to that question. How did I start YouTube? I don't really know how to answer that question, but I guess you mean what was my first video or whatever. The very first thing I posted was like a 658 combo or something like that in one of the Arkham City challenge maps with, I think it was Nightwing. And you know, I wasn't commentating, it was like 3 minutes long. I got like 650,000 score and got like the top 70. Because I was really addicted to that game at the time. And no one commented on it, and it got a bunch of thumbs down. Bastards. To this day, I rue the day I uploaded that. People are complete... If you don't commentate a video, it doesn't matter how good it is, people are dickheads, man. But yeah, it was the very first thing I posted. I think the first thing I commentated was probably The Binding of Isaac. And by the way, if you want to begin commentating on YouTube, I do not suggest beginning with The Binding of Isaac. It is actually a really hard game to commentate, at least in my opinion. Because, you know, there's no story, there's not much going on, it's fun as shit, it's fun to watch. There's not much to talk about. Something like Skyrim, where the storylines and you can interact with the characters, is much more easy to commentate, in my opinion, especially when you're starting out and you don't really know what to say. Because, like I say, you can just read the lines, interact with the characters, and all that kind of shit, and get a bit of practice in. But, yeah, Isaac was not the best choice for a first game to commentate, in my opinion. But yes, I believe that was the first one. Okay, next question is once again from Baron Von Burp D'Angelo. He says, if Towley had an AMA, what would you say / ask him? And you're on drugs, by the way. I think you mean, you know, theoretically, if I was on drugs, what would I ask him? I would probably not ask him anything and just say, you're a towel. But I would say in his voice, and be like, no, you're a towel. Because Towley has the best voice ever. Dumbest, crappiest character ever. And that's what makes him so good. Just like the first Mortal Kombat movie. It's so bad, it is absolute gold. Towley, best worst character ever. And the final question comes from 004 Dark Lord. At least, you know, I think this is a question. Maybe it's rhetorical, but I'm gonna freaking say it anyway because you put it down and it had a question mark on the end. Why, he says, why the fuck are you so goddamn hilarious in these vids? Honestly, man, I don't know how to answer that. I don't think I'm funny. And that's not, you know, me being modest. You know, there are people that are funny as shit, and they're like, oh no, you know, I'm not funny. And they know they are, like Louis C.K. or whatever. But, yeah, genuinely, I don't think I'm funny. I don't ever really try to be. I just try to entertain. And if I'm funny in the process, all the better. But, yeah, you tell me, man. I ain't got a goddamn clue. Alrighty, guys, that is all of the questions. If you really want to ask me one, but you forgot to do it, or you didn't see the AMA post or whatever, feel free to ask me in the comment section below, or you can private me on Twitter, or, you know, my YouTube inbox. Feel free, and I will do my best to answer it. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.